Subscribe our channel. Stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. Advice: Heartbroken. 1 year later. My husband's, male 35, been chatting up girls and escorts underneath my, female 33, nose. Again. You guys, I've been a long-time lurker since our first date, and I'd long contemplated whether or not I wanted to share my story. Ultimately, I decided against it, because I thought we had put it all behind us, but his problem has come back with a vengeance and I don't know what to do now. Doctor, my husband had a 3-month emotional affair last year, which ended after I found out with him promising me he'd never do anything of the sort again. But he did, and I just found out. Need advice on what to do next. My apologies for the wall of text. Our first date happened a couple of days shy of Mother's Day, 2019. At the time, we'd been together for 4 years, married for 3, and had a 2-year-old boy. In the end, I only stayed for my son's sake. This day occurred in 2 waves. At the time, I'd been noticing that he'd been spending a lot of time glued to his phone, smiling. I'd ask what he was laughing about. Could I see? He would always decline and say it was nothing. Sometimes I'd catch a glance of the screen and see something similar to a chat room display. He'd brush me off every time. It's only a screenshot someone sent me. Not a chat room, you're seeing things. That night, I don't know what got into him, but I asked him the same question, are you chatting to someone? Who is it? And he fessed up. Yeah, it's another girl. Incredulous, I asked him to repeat what he said and he repeated, I've been talking to another girl. At this point, my toddler needs me to go with him to bed. I hissed to my husband, we will talk about this when I come out, and I lay down next to my baby boy. I was steaming but I couldn't show it y'all, while my liar of a husband has some time to himself. With his cell phone. He promptly deleted all text records and the app. When I came out, he tried to play dumb. What chat? What girl? I don't see anything. Please. Treating me like I have the memory of a goldfish. I had to yell at him because my son was asleep, and you don't wake toddlers once they're down for the night if you know what's best for you. He finally confessed that yes, he had been talking to girls by turning on this near you function in that app. He'd been doing this for more than half a year, and recently had been pretty chummy with one in particular. They'd known each other for over 3 months. He said he didn't want me to see their exchanges because he knew it'd make me feel bad. What? And having an emotional affair wouldn't? I broke down. I asked him every single question I could ask. Who is she? Where did they meet? Some young office worker. Through that app. Where did she live? Downtown. Had you met in person? No. This answer will come into play later. What did she look like? Don't remember. PFFT, what was wrong with us? With me? What were you thinking? He'd deleted everything. So I could only take his word on things. We hashed it out over snot and tears. Even though I was the one cheated on, he played the suicide card, which made my blood boil. Why is this about you again? My world just came crashing down, and now you're telling me you feel bad about something you decided to do. UGH. I told him, has he told me everything about this affair that there is to know, because I couldn't take him lying to me again. He said he had, and surprise, surprise. Morning came and I was out of it. He went to work, son went to daycare. I sat down and bawled my eyes out again and again. I felt like I was such a failure. He kept on repeating that I had forced him out of the marriage. I was always such a pushover regarding household chores or taking care of our kid. I never gave him any positive feedback, only negative, and he had to go looking for affirmation from other places because he felt worthless. Look, guys. My complaints were along the lines of, why aren't the dishes you washed clean? There's oil and crusted food still on them. If you're always leaving skid marks, would it be that hard to scrub the toilet at least once in a while? And throw away your used tissues. His mom had never taught him how to do any chores around the house growing up, So I was basically teaching him from the basics up. At the time, he didn't even know how to toast bread. Seriously. So, I thought for a bit. I pledged to maybe dial back my demands and temper some, but frankly, having to baby not just a toddler but also a grown-ass adult man. Was my rage not unjustified? I'm busy enough taking care of the little one. And we might have had another hushed discussion that night. I thought we were going to be okay. Then, at around 8:30 p.m., I thought to look for a pen I had lent him and looked in his work backpack. In the front pocket, I found my pen. But also an open box of condoms and a used pack of Viagra. I took a picture of the evidence, marched straight to him, asked, "WTF is this? Why is it in your work bag?" He confessed, he had had dinner with that girl one night and had brought them as a precaution. Why were they used? He had used them with me, didn't I remember? I vaguely did and didn't care at that point. He had told me one night previously that he had had to work overtime, when in reality he was meeting up with this girl for dinner at a restaurant. I was at home, alone, taking care of our 2-year-old son, and he's out whining and dining this chick. I told him, "You fucking lied. Again. I'm leaving," grabbed some stuff and left our house. I probably scared a lot of people that night, walking on the street tears pouring down my face, but I didn't care. I ugly cried while I looked for a place to spend the night, curled up into a ball on the bed and just laid there. I didn't return home until the day after. My son came running up to me and gave me a big hug, telling me he missed me so much. I held back my tears because I wanted to be strong in front of him. After he fell asleep, me and the husband started talking again. I told him, I'd made the decision to stay but only because I loved my son and wanted him to be with both his mom and dad at all times. I knew that if I ever let my parents know about the affair, they would promptly tell me to divorce his ass and make him sorry for what he did. We wouldn't have any sort of possible future together if that happened. So I opted not to tell them. But I felt I needed an authority figure to tell him what he had done was wrong, to drive the point home. So I made the stupid decision to phone his mother. She had been fairly decent during my previous interactions with her, and seemed to have a liberal perspective of things. We called her and put her on speakerphone, and told her so when she picked up. Mom, we're calling because I fucked up. I cheated on Ahoiholic. Mel, what? Cheated? With who? Some girl I met online. Mel, did you sleep with her? What? No? Mel, so she's not pregnant? No. Mel, then no problem. Who is she? Poor girl. Excuse me? She's not pregnant so everything's okay? Mel, what about Ahoiholic, does she know? Yeah, she's right here next to me. Mel, Ahoiholic, you heard him, he didn't sleep with her, nothing happened, it's all over. You forgive him, right? I saw red. Everything she said ran completely against my expectations. She okayed the affair by saying it didn't get physical, and promptly told me to forgive her son, without even uttering a single word of sympathy for me. That call went on forever, only because she kept on pressuring me to say I would forgive her son for a mistake that all men make sometime in their lives. She wouldn't take, "I'll try," to forgive him, as an answer. She even tried bribing me with some extra money each month as an incentive. Tell H to give you $300 more each month, yeah? So you'll forgive him? I shut down. I was completely failed by both him and his mother. I couldn't tell my own parents, as desperately as I wanted to, for fear that I wouldn't be able to hold the marriage together if they knew. I wanted to try to reconcile. I wanted us to continue being a family. So I processed all of my negative feelings and tried to power on through it. He promised he would never do anything of the sort again. And I honestly thought we were finally getting better. Skip to present day. I picked up a speeding ticket notification in the mail. It was taken at a location roughly 1.5 hours away from either our house or my husband's workplace during work hours. He is on record telling me that that day he would be in the office running tests. I knew. Right then and there. I'd never picked up on the signs. I had blindly trusted him again and he had duped me yet again. He came back home and, like always, left his main cell phone on the table and held his secondary cell, that I thought was only for gaming, in his hand. That phone never left his side the entire night. Even while he was bathing our boy. Even while washing the dishes. Even while watching TV. I knew. I waited until he was snoring and first, thought to go to our car to copy any car cam recordings, but couldn't find either a memory card or slot to connect any cables to. A bit dejected, I came back home to him still snoring. So I looked at that phone. He had been chatting up different escorts and sending them pictures, asking them for pictures, sexting, and ultimately made meetings with at least one of them. I took a few pictures of their chats. My heart broke, again. I thought we were past this. We had been getting along better and better these past few months. But that chat history runs back to Jan of this year. And now I'm at a loss of what to do. He just woke up and feigned concern for me, and luckily I am actually running a fever from a bug the little one gave me, so I pretended to just be under the weather. But I can't keep this up forever. And I really don't know what to do next. Do I keep gathering evidence? Do I confront him right away? That first time, I told him that if this shit ever happened again, I would not be sticking around. And I meant it. At the time. Now. I just don't know. I don't know what I want anymore. Now that everything looks so very bleak, I'm scared of moving forward. Frown. Your first actions need to be to speak to a therapist and a divorce lawyer. There's no coming back now. He is who he is. Start mentally and physically preparing yourself to leave him. Confront if you want, but you know what he's gonna say and do. You've already been here before. You've already been here before. These words rang so true. So sad to be back again, though. I'll be looking for a lawyer to consult with about what to do next on Monday, as both husband and child are at home, so I can't do anything freely. I'm steeling myself for what's coming. Had a particularly rough time keeping my composure today watching him playing with my boy. They don't know that things are already in motion. I'm sad for what could have, should have been. Is it wrong of me to still have some sliver of hope that he'll possibly change this time around? Although we all know the possibility of this happening is virtually non-existent, viewing what happened the last time. Op. Please stop the pick-me dance. It never works in the long run. Take it from me, I made the mistake of staying in a marriage for the kids. She had no respect for me as she was convinced that I would never leave her. She was correct about that for 20 years, until even I had enough. Being served papers will likely get his attention and maybe some contrition from him, but lady, I don't think that there is enough therapy to fix this guy. Don't go back. Don't waste any more of your precious time with him. Wow, I only thought of staying for my son as my own sacrifice, never thought of how it would affect how the husband thought of me. 20 years is a long time, glad you're out now. Therapy isn't a big thing where I live, so I wasn't initially planning on it. If there were some possibility I wouldn't be against trying it, however, like you said, he doesn't seem fixable. He and his family seem to have their own set of standards. Thanks for listening so far. If story have update we will post here. Like, and subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.